Perfect. So recording has started. All right. Then, as I told you, we will start today. We'll repeat some slides from the previous lecture just to for you to remember what we've discussed. So I'll start with the control statement. Actually, the main idea of having control statement, as we explained in the previous lecture. In the previous lectures, we say we used to, previously, we used to write the code as, if you remember, include IOStream, then using, etc. Then we start with, integer main, right? And everything was here executed one instruction after another. So when I execute this instruction, after we finish, we go to the next instruction and execute it. We didn't have anything related to decision making. Decision making, it means to modify the execution or to control the execution of the program based on specific conditions. Okay, so in this case, I should have conditions. Okay, I should have instructions that control the execution. All right, so the first one is the if, else, and actually we changed this to be like this: if, else, if, and else, or just if else. What's the if else? Before going to the other two types, we will talk about the if alone. So if condition, if the condition is true, then the execution will, or this code will be executed. If it's false, then it will skip the execution to the next or to the instruction after this block. All right, so the if, just like in regular language, if this is true, then do something. Then if the condition is true, do this. Otherwise, go and execute the rest. Now let's see, this is the diagram. If the condition is true, okay, then yes, it will come to execute this code block or block of code number one. After it finishes the execution, it will continue to the execution of the rest. If the condition is not true, then it will go, it will skip this one and go to execute the block. So this is the if statement block. If condition is true, then block one. Okay, after that, block two. And we took an example. This is an example that we explain. Write program that check if an integer is positive or not. If the integer is positive, the program prints the number is positive. So from this code, we can apply it here. So what will be the condition? Here I have an integer, x equals any value. Okay, any value. Now, how to check? What will be the condition? The condition is to check if the number is integer. The integer numbers usually greater than or equal 0, right? So the condition is if x is greater than or equal 0, yes, print here C out the number is integer, is positive. Okay, otherwise you just go and end the program. But we added some code here. It's not necessary to be added, but we added this just to show you that C out end of program. In all cases, this block will be executed. So if the condition is true, it will execute this code, then it will execute the block 2. If it's false, it will go and execute the block 2. And this is what we've seen here. Integer x equal 5. If x greater than or equal 0, considering that 0 is one of the positive numbers. Okay, now. All right. So if it's greater than or equal 0, now x is 5. That means it will. This condition is true. Then it comes and execute this. See out the number is positive end line. All right. Then if not, if the condition after executing this, of course, it will come here and execute the second instruction. If it's not true, if it's false, then it will skip this and comes and execute the last instruction only. All right. This is again, this is the same example. If integer x equal here greater than or equal, all right, 0. See out the number is positive, otherwise the number is negative. Now, you can use a block of code after if, such as, of course, if you notice here, we consider that or we used only one instruction, but actually you can use more than one instruction here, since it will be between these braces. All right. However, if there's only one line, if you have only one line, then you can remove this. For example, if x greater than 0, you can write directly see out the number is positive. All right, greater than or equal. Is it clear? You don't need to use this, but if you use them, it's not wrong. It's not an error. All right, you can use them, but usually we don't use them if I have one instruction only. One instruction only. All right. Okay. Next. Now, this is the if statement. I have another thing, which is if or else. If the condition is true, or else if the condition is not true. Here we have more than one block. So if the condition is true, then it will execute block 1 and then continue to block 3. If the condition is false, it will execute block 2, then it will continue to block 3. Example, I think, yeah, this was written. Write program that check whether an integer is positive or no. If the integer is positive, the program prints the number is positive. Otherwise, the number is not positive. So see here we have otherwise. Okay. Otherwise means there are more than one condition. If we go there, if x greater than 0, considering that we are talking about integer numbers only, we excluded 0, or if we consider 0 as integer number, you can put a greater than or equal. All right. So if yes, here see out positive number. If no, but after this will come here, let's say here end of program. Okay. If no, it will print see out not a positive number and continue to execute this. And this is what we did here. You can see integer x equal -4. Okay, if x greater than or equal 0, is it? This condition is false. So what it will do? It will jump this and go to else. Okay, and execute this part if the condition is false. So it will execute this part. If the condition is true, then it will come execute this and jump to the end. Jump else. So it's either, now here I have the condition and I have two blocks here, see out positive, and here I have see out not positive. Okay, if the condition is true, it will come here, okay, and skip this one and go to the rest of the code. Okay, this if it's true. If it's false, it will come here, execute these instructions, and go again there. So either to go in this direction or in this direction. It depends on the condition itself, or if it's true, it will go there. It's not possible at all to execute both cases. All right. Else, if, else, if, and else. Till now we talked about if alone. We talked about if and else. Now, if I have more than two conditions, more than two cases, sorry, two situations. In this case, I can use if, else if, and you can use any number of else if, not only one. Maybe you need to use another else if or another, but the last one is else. So write a program that compares two integers, x and y, and prints if x is greater than y, x is equal to y, x is less than y. Although we solved this in the last lecture, but I will repeat it and write it again. Okay. Okay. I prefer to write this to you, so I'll keep the comments when I share it with you. Let's write the program. As we said, first include IO string. This is a must using namespace std and then integer main, and I will start the block of the main and return 0, and I close the block. This is a must. You have to write it every time, and that's why I'm not copying and pasting it. I can just copy and paste, but I'm writing to you just to make it familiar, to make you more familiar or familiar with it. So here, the required is to read two numbers and compare these numbers if x greater than y, x less than y, or they are equal. So please just, this is the second time I'm explaining this, because if you understand it, you will understand all the logic of the if statement. Now, integer x and y, cout, enter x, okay. Cn, not cout y, Cn, y. All right, so I read the numbers. Now I need to compare between them. If x is greater than y, all right, then again, see here, I will write it like this: cout x is greater than y, and endl, and I'll close this. I'll close it. All right. Now, how many instructions do we have between the braces? We have only one, right? So in this case, it's much better and easier if I delete or I remove these parentheses. All right. Else, if x, y, then here also you can add parentheses, cout x is less than y. And endl. All right. Also here I have only one instruction, so I can delete the braces. All right. Next, else if, and intentionally I put this condition, x equals y, and one of your friends or classmates ask me why I have two equals, because when we'll talk about the comparison, we need to use the two equals in the comparison, one equal in the assignment. Okay, I'll explain it later. Here also you can add braces, or you can ignore them because I have only one instruction. See out x is equal to y. All right, ENDL, and that's it. Let's execute it and see. All right, so here it asks me to enter the value of x, or value for x. I will enter 7, then 3. Okay, as s is greater, x is greater than y. Let me try with another value. All right, I'll give equal. So if I gave 8 and 8, x is equal to y. But notice here that I can do a small modification here, and I'm asking you now, if x is not greater than y and x is not less than y, then certainly and for sure x is equal to y. In this case, I don't need to write this code, and this is in your lectures also. It was explained in your lecture. So if I remove this, that means if the first condition is not true, the second condition is not true, then the third condition is true. All right, it will execute this case. So if I repeat the same thing, run, and give it 8 and 8, directly x is equal to y, because the execution was like this. Let me just take it and explain to you like this. All right, now you've entered here 8, and here also you entered 8. Okay, here 8 and here 8. Now it will come to the first condition. If x is greater than y, 8 is greater than 8. It's false, right? Then it will skip and check the next one. Is 8 less than 8? It's false. Then it will skip and comes here. Without any checking, it will write that they are equal, because if they are not greater than, if x is not greater than y and x is not that less than y, then for sure x equals y. This is true. Okay, so whether if you want to use this, or if you don't feel comfortable now, you prefer to use if statement, both are correct. If x equals y, it's correct also. Okay, any questions? Okay, perfect. So let's go back to our presentation. See here, if you can see here also, this is the part that when you write else if x equal y, and this is when you use else alone. So both are correct. I'll take them both. Okay. Now we have another example. We want to solve. Write program, or let me just first add another slide. I need a blank slide. All right. So here, write program that reads an integer and check if an integer is odd or even. How to check if the integer is odd or even? Anybody can tell me? Come on. How to check if an integer or a number is odd or even? Now I'm asking you, is 7 odd or even?
Odd.
Odd. How did you check that it's odd?
الأود الأعداد الفردية والإيفن الأعداد الزوجية.
Perfect. odd أعداد فردية، even أعداد زوجية. في صوت سمعت يقول متبقي. مين تكلم معنا؟
ايوه انا قلت.
All right. Then explain to me, what do you mean by remainder? We call it remainder. Even Arabic is all right. I'll take it. What do you mean by remainder or متبقي, as you said? Okay. I will divide 7 by 2, right? Then the result will be 3 and 1 over 2, correct? If this value is 1, then it's odd. If this value is 0, let me take another number, for example, 8, even. 8 divided by 2 equals 4, and the remaining is 0 over 2. If it's 0, then that means it's an even number. Anybody can tell me, do we have an operation that can do this? What's the operation that gives me this value? Remember, the operations, we have plus, minus, etc. Which one? Yeah.
2.
What is it, sorry?
1.
Yeah, but what is the operation that gives me this this value, either 1 or 0? What's the operation? What are the operations that we have? So which one of these? Sorry? Yeah? Which one of these? Is it addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, or mod?
Division. قسمة.
Division can be done, but it needs some more operations. But you know, the mod operation, if you remember, I explained to you several times, 7 mod 2 means I'm dividing 7 over 2, which is equal 3, 1 over 2. That means it gives me 1, right? So that means the mod operation, if the mod operation gives me 1, the number is even, is odd. If it gives me 0, then the number is even. So I'll go to the slides there. Sorry, not the slides, the program. Enter X, I don't need more than X. I want to check, okay. Before writing the program, I just want to make sure or to show you the role of the way the mod operation is working. So see out X mod 3. All right. Now, if I execute this code, okay, I'll execute it. Now remember that we are talking about 3. The value of X before, if I give X, for example, I just need some, okay. Now remember that the question is C out, or the output of this question should be C out X mod 3. Now give me any number that I need to enter. Anybody? Let's say 8. Okay. If I enter 8, that means if I enter 8 here, that means 8 divided by 3, which is equal to 2, and 2 over what? Over 3. The output will be 2. Okay, if I give like 9, that means 9 divided by 3 equals 3, and 0 over 3, that means the output is 0. Okay, let's try it. With 8, okay, I think we are late now. Stop. Okay, so enter integer, enter a value 8. The remaining is 2. I'll execute it again and give it 9. The remaining is 0. All right. The same thing if I apply it to 2 instead of 3, I'll change it to be 2, which I'm going to use to check for odd and even number. Run. Now 9, which is odd, then I'm expecting that the output or it will print 1, right? This is what I got. All right, let's try another number. 86. 86 is clear as even. All right, so the result should be 0. So this is what I got. Okay, now I want to apply this or to use this in checking if the number is odd or even. So I'll do it like this. We'll consider the diagram here. First part, read an integer, right? Then here, I'll calculate, or no need to calculate even, just if the integer x, if x mod 2 equals 1, that means see out odd, right? If yes. If no, see out even. Okay, then both will go to the same, which is end of program. All right. By the way, be careful. Sometimes, or most of the time, in the past, I saw that there are there are some mistakes that, if yes, I'll add another slide to show you the mistake that you might commit. Here, after reading, okay, read an integer, read x, and now here you may say x greater or x mod 2 equals 1. Then here yes, see out odd. Okay, and here you go directly and write here see out even. All right, this is not correct. Be careful. All right, why is that? Because here you are executing this code and then you come and execute the second part. Okay, we will see it in programming. So here I will write the code to you now. Enter x and see in x, no need to anything here. I will just write if x mod 2 equal 1. All right. Also here I have only one instruction, so I'll use directly see out the number is odd. Correct. Now else if x mod 2 equals 0, then see out the number is even. Right, then ENTL. Okay. At the end here, when we finish, cout end of program. All right. So there will be some modification in this program also. I will run it. Enter X here. So X is equal to, or I'll give it like any number, by the way, 46. All right. The number is even, end of program. Let's try execute it with odd numbers. Give it 59. The number is odd, end of program. See, end of program is executed always. All right. Now I can do some modification, some minor modification here, which is if the number is not even, then what it is? Then for sure it's odd, right? I don't have more than even and odd. So first I will share this with you. Okay, I'll put it in your slides, and then I'll put the modified one. Again, both are correct. Okay. But I want you to be more professional in writing code. So here, if I'm talking about this, let me also, yeah, this is the code. See what we've done. First of all, I entered any number like 7 here. Okay, 7 in X. Then X mod 2 is equal to 1, true, right? It will execute this one and jump to execute the last one. Now, if I entered 8, for example, this one is false, then it will jump to the second condition and check the condition again. But actually, you don't need to check the condition again. Why? If it's not odd, then for sure it's even. So in this case, I can do some minor modification here in this code. I can remove the second part. Okay, so I run it. I'll see that I'll be having the same result. Enter X. Okay, so I'll enter 9. The number is odd. I'll execute it again. Okay, I give it 8. The number is even, so both are correct. And also, I'll add this to your slides and share them with you. This is the first answer and this is the second answer. Both are correct, but the second one is more professional than the first one. Okay. So I'll give you now a question or a question. All right, new slide. Not here. Write a program that reads an integer and check if the integer can be divided by 7 or not. To give you the opportunity to think and to discuss and to ask questions and not to waste the recording time, I'll stop recording now. Okay? And we can continue our discussion.